Hello there, it's Friday, and that means it's time for Lunch and Learn with me. And I am Dr. Polly Heil-Mealey, and we are sitting in the lobby of my clinic, Abundant Health and Wellness in downtown, beautiful downtown Humble, and 323 East Main Street at the corner of Main Street and Avenue C. So I wanted just to invite you to come in. We talked last week about negative life events and negative communication. Well, today I want us to talk about positive life events and positive communication. So I don't know if I have anybody on there. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? We're checking. We're doing a sound check. We're doing a sound check. Check, check, check. Oh, Alva's there. She's giving me a thumbs up. So I'm believing that my sound is good. So we're gonna just move forward. I just want to say thank you to all of the people that share the video. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Alva. I appreciate you sharing the video because the more people understand holistic medicine, then the more people can avail themselves of it. And you know, I've been reading this book, and it kind of goes on to what we're talking about today. Now, it's a little bit backwards. Ray, I thought I would see you today. She says she's working, or I'm working. I'm not sure. But I went outside and looked for you a while ago, just so you know. Anyway, I don't know if you can read this backwards. It looks backwards to me. But it says the sound of healing. And I just want to tell you, we've been talking about communication. We've been talking about positive and negative states, and this book just confirms everything that I've been studying. And just the way it worked out, a longtime friend, a friend of 30 years plus, telephoned me on Saturday and asked me, do you know anything about vibrational medicine? It was like, well, as a matter of fact, that's what I do. And so this book is all about how God created the world with vibrations and how we can heal ourselves through vibrations. Now, if you've looked at our Facebook post today, you will see a picture of water. And this is done under an electronic microscope, and this is what the water does when you speak kind words or when you speak negative words. So I've asked the ladies in the front office if they would go ahead and repost that on this this post here. Trish is saying it won't let her. It might be, you can't share it. You might have to do it from Tracy's computer because it's on her computer. You might have.
I got it. It's just not giving me a share option. It's not giving me the option to post a picture on a live.
Ah, can't post a picture on a live. Okay, so we'll post it. We'll post it afterwards. But it's just something to look at if you can switch screens or scroll down because it'll be the. Ronaldo says do it as a comment.
Yeah, I tried that.
Yeah, she says she tried that. Anyway. The main thing is we're talking about enzymes, still talking about enzymes, talking about positive states, talking about negative states. And we talked last week how negative states impact our immune system in a detrimental way. Well, today I want us to talk about positive things and how it impacts our immune system in a positive way. So, satisfying personal relationships and good social support actually increase, right, the lymphocyte function. It increases your natural killer cell activity. It increases your immunity that's able to be tested, right? It increases your immune support to the hepatitis B vaccine, which is quite interesting because the hepatitis B vaccine, or the hepatitis B virus, is a virus that you get from unprotected sex, which we don't advocate that, and also sharing needles, and we don't advocate that. So if you have hepatitis B, and you can actually inherit that, if your parents have it, then the baby can inherit it. But if you are positive and you have good social support, then, hey Daniel, if you have good social support, then you're able to maximize this vaccine, and your immunity is actually increased. So this is a kind of a strange but powerful thing that positive relationships, positive social support has. So personal sharing and disclosure of traumatic events increase your lymphocyte response. Now, when we have a traumatic event, when something happens to us that's tragic or embarrassing or hurtful, what do? We want to hide. We want to put up a barrier. We don't want you to know. We don't want to share because we don't want you to think badly of us because of our misfortune, right? But when we share this, it is a burden lifted, and our lymphocytes actually increase. Now, I just want to remind you, if you didn't see last week, that your lymphocytes being too high or too low shows that we've got an immune issue, right? Your lymphocytes are made in the bone marrow. You've got your T cells, you've got your B cells, and you've got your natural killer cells, or just killer cells. Sometimes they call them NK cells. So all of these cells help with our innate immune system. This is the immune system that we're born with, right? And so the disclosure of a traumatic event actually encourages the lymphocyte production to come against any kind of infection or pathogen that may be lurking. So we want to take advantage of that and understand that. So lymphocytes are one of several different types of white blood cells. Each type of white blood cell has a function, and the function is to work together for sickness and disease, to fight it. So when you share your unfortunate happening, you're actually strengthening your immune system. So this is something that we don't do because we're embarrassed or whatever, and so just something that we maybe need to take a different look at. Humor and laughter. Now remember, the Bible says that laughter does good like a medicine, right? So this is scientifically proven that when you laugh, it enhances your immunoglobulin A, it increases your lymphocyte count and its activity. So let me just look at your IgA, which is what's going to be showing on your blood work. If you have blood work, you just have your regular old common blood work, you're not going to have your Igs on there. There's IgA, IgG, IgM, just tons of them. You're not going to have that on your blood work unless you have an autoimmune disease, or unless the doctor is looking for cancer or an autoimmune disease. So you may not have this on your blood work, and that's a good thing. But your immunoglobulin A is about 10 to 15% of all the antibodies that you have, and it is the antibody that goes after foreign invaders. So that would be a virus, a bacteria, a parasite, whatever. So humor, right, laughter increases the production of your immunoglobulin A. So if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have a chronic sickness, chronic disease, and by that we mean anything that has a label, diabetes would count as that, congestive heart failure would count as that, depression would count as that, anything that really has a label that you've been battling for a long time. If you will implement laughter, then you're going to increase your your lymphocyte count, which is your immunoglobulin A, and that will go a long way toward helping you get well. So this is what we want to do, right? So hypnosis and relaxation techniques also increase your T cell effectiveness, increase your natural killer cell activity, decreases your blood levels of stress hormone. So what is your stress? Your main stress hormone? It is your cortisol, right? So we want to have that depressed in our body. Also, it decreases the activity of the herpes simplex virus. So we all know that if we are prone to cold sores, that when we are under stress or we're in a stressful situation, certainly over a long period of time, that cold sore will just pop up because of stress. Well, that's right. when you are under stress, it reduces your good immune system, and it allows the virus, particularly in this case, the herpes virus, to surface and to gain ascendancy. And so we've got those pesky little cold sores that we have to deal with. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about hypnosis. I would definitely go, if you're going to do hypnosis, I would go to a practitioner that has the same worldview that you do. So in my case, because I'm a Christian, I will go to if I go to a hypnotist, which I have never done, but I would pick a Christian one and really make sure that they are Christian at the core of their being. However, I am told by one of our therapists here, she says anytime you daydream, you go into a state of self-hypnosis. So I'm just not quite sure what that means. But anyway, but relaxation techniques. So this would be deep breathing. This would be meditation, prayer, listening to good music. Hillary tells me that I, go into my room, put on my Zen candles. I don't have any Zen candles, but I do have candles. Do essential oil therapy, because essential oil therapy really helps to calm and relax. So when you take that stress away, you're taking away that negative suppression of the immune system. So we have a question. Let me see. Question. Will bumps pop up on the end of your tongue as a result of stress as well? Well, that's a good question. I don't have any kind of research to tell me that that is true, but I have experienced that you get those little swollen taste buds from time to time, and I usually just bite them off. I'll just be honest, because they just irritate me. It's a little bit painful, but they irritate me, and I'm always like messing with them, so I just bite them off. I haven't had that in a long, long time, so I don't really know if that's a stress response, but it could be. It could be that your body's just responding to something that you ate that you didn't like. I will have to do some research on that, Daniel, and maybe get back to you next week. So that's a good question. Thank you so much. All right. Physical exertion and aerobic exercise. Now, aerobic exercise is something that gets your heart beating. It gets you breathing heavy, okay? And so this increases the number of white blood cells. It increases your endorphins. Okay, your endorphins are your feel-good chemicals in the brain. It increases certain immune chemicals. It increases your natural killer cells, right? It increases your T cells, and it decreases the negative lymphocyte function. So remember I said earlier, if your T cells are too high or your T cells are too low, your lymphocytes are too high or too low, then it is an indication of an immune issue in your body. So we've got people in the clinic. Hey, how are you? Yeah, if you come this way, you're going to be on Facebook Live. So see, this just proves that we really are in the clinic. Yeah. We really are doing our business, and people come in and come out, and try to get people to share with you online, and they just don't usually want to do that, but that's okay. It all works. If your lymphocytes are out of line, okay, either too many or too little, then we have a problem. If you have too little, then your immune system is suppressed. If you have too many, then your immune system is fighting something, and it could be a chronic sickness, chronic viral infection, or something like that. So when you are working out, when you are doing a lot of physical aerobic activity, it will suppress the negative aspect of the lymphocyte. So that's a good thing, so we need to know that. So what about group intervention and support, right? So we all have networking things that we do. We can do it for business. We can have girls' night out, boys' night, watching the World Federation of Boxing or whatever it is you guys do. Fishing, going on a fishing trip, going on a hunting trip. All those kind of things are group activities. Group activities increase your natural killer cells and activity. It increases the lymphocytes. So this is what we need to do if our immune system is depressed. Now, we talked last week about negative situations, and remember that we talked about loneliness and depression. If you are lonely and depressed, these things decrease the function of your natural killer cells, and it decreases the function of your immune system. So one of the things that you can do, and a lot of us don't want to do this when we're sick, we don't want to have people over, and quite frankly, people don't want to come over when we're sick. But what we need to do to increase our immune system or strengthen our immune system is we need to get around like-minded people. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
We need to get around like-minded people so that we can laugh, we can share our burden, we can do that kind of thing. Hey, Monica, thanks for joining. I appreciate you. So we want to do that. Now, if I'm sick, which I'm very, very rarely ever sick, I really don't want to be around people. But what would be beneficial for me is to turn on the funny YouTube channel or turn on the comedy channel or anything that is nice and clean and jovial, because that laughter, especially that belly laughter, will help with our immune system. So think about belly laughter, and I'm kind of thinking in my head about jolly old Saint Nick with a, laugh like a bowl full of jelly, right? Okay, so when you laugh like that, you're laughing at the very core of your being. You've got lymphatic cells all the way down your spinal cord. So when you laugh hysterically or you do that big belly laugh, what you're doing is you're moving the lymph system. Remember, the lymph nodes have phagocytes, right, which is a big word, and it's got another, I can't remember what it's called now, but anyway, Pac-Man-like creatures. And what that does is it eats up all the bacteria and the parasites and that kind of thing. So we want to laugh because when we laugh, we move the lymphatic system and we're able to activate what's already within us. And don't I sound like have I got lipstick on my teeth? Is that better now? Only your office staff will tell you that. Thank you so much. Anyway, so we have the commercial that says the shingles virus is already inside of us, right? Oh, Raquel says she can't hear anything. Is everybody else hearing? We were hearing. Are we hearing? Okay, Raquel, we're hearing on our side. Maybe your volume is turned down. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got this commercial that says that the shingles virus is already inside of us. Well, yes, if you've had the chickenpox, thanks, Jenny. I appreciate you. Oh, okay, good. What happened? Did you change your settings on your phone? I don't know. Okay, so if you had the chickenpox, if you have a cold sore, if you've got the genital herpes virus, they're all the same viral family. It just manifests in different ways. So yes, you do have that already inside you, but you also have your lymphatic system inside of you. And so if you activate the lymphatic system, then you're going to keep your immune system strong. Now remember, a lot of people will tell you you want to boost your immune system. No, you don't want to boost your immune system, because if you boost your immune system, you're fighting some kind of sickness and disease. What you want to do is keep your immune system strong, all right? The way you do that is to eat good food, rest, laugh a lot, have good close friends that you can have fun with, and make sure that you are doing those things that is within your power that you can do. Now, on our, I have a picture. Let me see if I can find this picture, because it's going to be on our webpage, but I actually have it in the book. Okay. Oh, I just lost my place of where I was in my book. Okay. So, I know it's probably backwards, but let me try and get up here where you can see. Trish, am I steady? Am I steady where you can see?
Lagging a little.
Okay, we're lagging a little bit. Oh, we're liking a lot. Okay, so on my book, I can't see my computer because
I'm only getting 4.
you're only getting 4 pictures. Well, that's okay. As long as you can see on the one side. Okay, yeah, you can see pretty good now. So on the far side, well, which is my finger here? I think it's this side. Yeah, this side. On the outside, on the top row, on the outside, this is where someone is speaking negative and hateful words to a drop of water. On the inside book of the book, on the top row, you see that real pretty snowflake kind of star formation. Somebody is speaking good things over that little bit of water. The same with the one underneath. On the inside of the book is where someone is speaking good things. On the outside, where it looks very, very chaotic, someone is speaking negative. I'm going to try and raise the book a little bit more. We've got a lag on our side, so I'm not seeing what you're seeing, but hopefully you're going to be able to see this. And so if you'll just look at the pictures on the inside of the book, then you can see that you've got a beautiful, beautiful formation caused by the words that you speak. And on the negative side, on the outside of the book, is where the negative things are being said. So how does this relate to us? Well, this relates to us because we are 70 to 75% water. Okay? So when you say negative things, all of the water in your body responds in a chaotic fashion. When you say positive things, then all of the water in your cells respond in a beautiful fashion. So think about that. Think about what you're saying. Think about the people in your life. Do you have a lot of negative drama llama people? Now, my son-in-law, who I absolutely adore, he's got a saying, and his saying is, well, the drama llama came and pooped on my porch this morning. Okay, and that means that he had a bad experience, he had a bad confrontation, the car went haywire or whatever. It was just negative. So in the family, we say that hey, Carrie Ann, good to see you. Thanks for watching. We say that when something negative happens, that the drama llama has pooped on the porch. Yes, Alva, when you get stressed, you get an upset stomach. Why is that? Because every cell in the body is reacting to that negativity. So this is a good thing. This is why we never eat when we're upset or when we're mad. And I will just tell you, if I'm mad and you try and feed me, I won't eat. I just absolutely have no appetite. And if I get in my mad and stay in my mad for days, I won't eat. So, which that never happens. I'm just kind of messing with you on that because I forgive and forget really, really easily. But when you are mad, your stomach and all of the digestive processes don't work. And so you're going to be eating food that's going to turn to poison in your system because of the chemical imbalance that's going on because you're mad. So don't eat when you're in a hurry. Don't eat when you're angry. Don't eat when you're depressed because you don't have the right enzyme activity going on in the stomach so that your food is nutritious for you. So we all know that we get tension headaches or stress headaches, right? Same thing. Your body is reacting negatively to something that is going on in your circle of influence. Now, I used to work in a building. This was years ago when I was a teacher. I had first started out in my teaching career, and the building was a sick building. And when I would go into the building, I would feel well, but whenever it was time to leave the building, I would be slightly nauseated, and I would have a really, really bad headache. As soon as I was out of the building, I was fine. So it was a sick building. So sometimes you have those kind of things that you're dealing with, so you need to discern if it's a sick building syndrome or if it's something going on in your body. But when you look at those pictures, and again, we're going to post these pictures so that you can look at it. It is from a book, not this book that I'm looking at. It is from a book. I've read the book. I have read the book years ago, and it's called The Hidden Messages in Water by Masahiro Emoto. Okay, Masuroemoto. So you can get this book, you can download the book, I'm sure, and it's very, very insightful as to how water responds and how water acts. Now, one of the things that you'll learn in this book is that water has memory. Don't know how that works. I'm not the creator, okay? But water has memory. So when you have trauma, when you have stress in your life, the water in the cells remembers that. There is a YouTube video. It's a very short video. I think it's called The Ghost Within. Trish, maybe you can kind of look at that, see if you can find that on YouTube. I think it's called The Ghost Within, but it may be called something else. But this was a scientific study, and what it did was it tracked children and grandchildren from survivors of the Holocaust. And for those of you that are a little bit young, okay, the Holocaust happened in World War II. I believe it was World War II. In which the Jews were rounded up and sent to gas chambers. Now, some people will tell you that that didn't happen, but it did happen. There's proof of it with the gas chambers and that kind of thing. So, but there were survivors, obviously not survivors of the gas chamber, but survivors of being rounded up and were set free. Probably one of the most famous one was Corrie ten Boom. So if you've read her story, The Hiding Place, she talks about her experience. Well, what this scientific study did is that it analyzed at the cellular level the children and the grandchildren of these Holocaust survivors. And they found that at the cellular DNA level, the cells, the DNA, remembered the trauma of the concentration camps. So there's probably a lot of other research that has been done. I was convinced on that one thing, so I just didn't pursue it any longer. The Bible says that the sins of the fathers are visited on the children down through the third, fourth, and even sometimes to the 10th generation. So that's kind of proof enough for me. And we're not talking about the people in the Holocaust being sinful. That's not what I'm saying. But what was done to them was sinful, and the effects go down into the children and the grandchildren. Think about inherited diseases. They pass down through the DNA. Think about inherited family issues like alcoholism or divorce or abortion, anything like that. You'll see if it's in one family member, it's probably up the food chain in the ancestry because it passes down through the DNA. Have you found that? The ghost within, the shadow within.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
Ghost Within, I'm getting abandoned movie. That's all it's hitting.
Okay, I'll have to do some research on that because I've seen it. I've actually seen that, but I thought it was called The Ghost Within. But it may be something else. We can ask Dr. Deborah. If Dr. Deb is listening or watching, she's the one that turned me onto that video, and she'll be able to give us a little bit more insight on that. So it's just about 12:30, and that I know that's your lunch hour and you've got things to do, but I do appreciate you hanging out with me for this 30 minutes. I hope you have found this helpful. We will get that video link up so you can watch that. Hey, Alice. Alice! Hi, Alice. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks so much for you guys watching. I appreciate it. Oh, Dr. Deb. Dr. Deb. She's doing something else on Facebook. I don't know. So she's not answering my question. We'll get with her. She's the one that told me about this video, and I did watch the video. So we'll get this link up here. Again, thanks for joining me. Please share the video, and have a great weekend. Love you much. Take care.